Okay, let's dive in. We're looking at something that might sound a bit niche at first, a bill of lading law.
Huh. Yeah, it probably sounds quite technical, doesn't it? Strictly for the maritime lawyers, maybe.
Right, or supply chain folks. But trust us, this story, it's actually, well, it's pretty fascinating. It's about India kind of shedding its past and really looking forward.
It really is. We're talking about India's brand new Bills of Lading 2025 law. And it's not just some dry piece of paper. It just passed the Rajya Sabha.
The upper house, right, just the other day, July 22nd, first day of their monsoon session.
Exactly. And now it's just waiting for the president's okay, the assent, to become official law.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to unpack why this specific law is being called, well, a watershed moment. That's a pretty big claim.
It is. We want to explore how it fits into India's bigger ambitions for the future and what it practically means for global trade, for business.
And for this, we're looking at insights from an article called India's New Shipping Law, Modernizing Maritime Trade, and also a recent report from ABS News Service.
So let's start with the big picture view, because the core change here is quite profound.
Okay.
This new law, it completely replaces a really old colonial-era act, the Indian Bills of Lading Act from 1856.
Wow. 1856, that's 169 years old.
Uh-huh. 169 years. Just think about that. Almost 2 centuries of legal history being, well, replaced by something built for today.
That's quite something. And it moved pretty fast through Parliament, didn't it?
It did. Passed the Lok Sabha, the lower house, back in March this year, 2025.
Right.
And then, like we said, cleared the Rajya Sabha on July 22nd. So now just that final nod needed.
The minister who introduced it, Union Minister Sarbananda Sonal,
Yes, from the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, MoPSW.
he used some really powerful language, didn't he, calling it that watershed moment.
He absolutely did. Framed it as a key moment in India's whole maritime reform journey.
And he didn't just say it's an update. He
Yeah.
specifically said it's about shedding colonial baggage.
Yeah, and adopting modern self-crafted legislation, his words.
That phrase, shedding colonial baggage, it feels like more than just legal jargon. What's I guess, the deeper meaning there for India's image?
Well, it's a very deliberate signal, isn't it?
Yeah.
He directly linked this reform to the Prime Minister's Narendra Modi's vision.
The Viksit Bharat by 2047 goal.
Exactly. The vision to transform India into a developed nation by 2047. The minister even quoted the PM, something like, India must act with speed and scale to reform its systems.
And transform its future. Right, so this law isn't just about ships and cargo, it's part of that national transformation plan.
Precisely. It's seen as a really key step in bringing India's maritime law up to speed with, global standards, global trade norms.
So if this is laying groundwork for India's future global role, what are the immediate sort of challenges or maybe opportunities popping up from this new framework?
Well, what I find fascinating is that deliberate choice of words, again, casting aside remnants of colonial and pre-constitutional legacies. It's not just updating. It feels symbolic.
Yeah.
A clear break from that colonial past.
Yeah.
The minister said something like, Swarnam Parat, Golden India needs laws that are contemporary, made by its own people, ready for today's challenges.
And the timing, too. He mentioned the timing being significant.
Yeah, he noted it's the perfect moment
Mhm.
as India's reflecting on, the 76th year since adopting its constitution.
Mm.
So it kind of aligns historically as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into the specifics then, for you listening. What actually changes? What are the tangible differences in this new law? How does it make things, well, easier?
Fundamentally, it's about making things simpler and clearer. That seems to be the main thrust.
Okay.
It consciously moves away from what they called archaic terminology, old-fashioned legal speak,
Mhm.
and shifts towards clear and business-friendly language.
Yeah.
So it should clarify things for everyone involved, the shippers sending goods, the carriers transporting them.
And the consignees receiving them.
Exactly, those
Yeah.
key players. The goal is less ambiguity in all the shipping documents.
And less ambiguity means less fighting,
Well-
lower risk of lawsuits.
That's the idea. Significantly lower litigation risks. That's a big deal in international trade.
Sounds like a huge plus. But are there, any new complications, things businesses need to watch out for during this switch?
The design seems focused on a smooth transition. For instance, it clearly defines the rights and duties, the obligations of all the stakeholders. Again, aiming to head off disputes.
Okay.
And crucially, there's what's called a repeal and saving clause.
Repeal and saving, what does that do?
It basically means that things done legally under the old 1856 Act remain valid. It ensures continuity, so past actions aren't suddenly thrown into question.
Ah, okay. That avoids a lot of potential chaos, I imagine.
Definitely. Plus, there's an enabling provision. This lets the central government issue directions later on, if needed, to make sure the law is implemented effectively. Gives it some flexibility.
Right, so it's not set in stone. They can adapt it as needed.
Seems so.
So, pulling back to the bigger picture again,
Uh,
all these changes, the clearer language, defined roles, the saving clause, they all point towards one big goal, right? Promoting ease of doing business, EODB.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That seems to be the headline objective for the maritime sector here. It's not just tidying up the law books, it's about making the whole process more efficient.
And restructuring complex bits, reducing that ambiguity that directly feeds into making it easier to do business in and with India.
Precisely. Which leads us straight into the strategic impact, why this matters globally.
Okay.
This law is clearly designed to boost India's competitiveness on the world maritime stage.
How so, specifically?
Well, by making documentation smoother and making dispute resolution clearer and hopefully faster,
Yeah.
those are major friction points in international trade. Addressing them makes India a more attractive place to do business with.
Right, it signals reliability, predictability.
Exactly. And that builds confidence, doesn't it? Investor confidence, trade partner confidence, confidence in India's whole shipping and logistics ecosystem.
And that ties back to the larger mission, boosting India's overall role in global trade flows.
Yes, it's all interconnected.
Now, there was that quote you mentioned earlier from the minister, the one about whoever rules the waves rules the world. That's a pretty historically loaded statement.
It is, very much so.
How does this specific law, the Bills of Lading Act, actually position India to maybe not rule the waves literally, but to, lead more strongly in that domain?
Well, it raises a really interesting point, doesn't it? It suggests this isn't just about ticking boxes for international compliance. It's more proactive. It's about sending a message to the world. India's maritime sector is modernizing, it's reliable, it's serious, and it's ready for more engagement, maybe even a leadership role.
So it's a statement of intent backed up by legal reform.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's signaling readiness for expanded global engagement, moving beyond just reacting to norms, maybe starting to shape them.
Okay, so let's recap this deep dive then. The Bills of Lading 2025 bill. It really looks like a landmark piece of legislation for India.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. It modernizes a key part of their shipping sector, consciously steps away from a colonial past.
And aligns India more closely with current global trade practices, all feeding into that bigger Viksit Bharat vision for 2047.
Exactly. And maybe that leaves us with a final thought. Something for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go on.
Just how a single, seemingly quite specific piece of law like this, about shipping documents, of all things, can ripple outwards. How it can potentially impact not just an industry, but a nation's sense of self, its identity, its standing on the world stage, and its whole economic trajectory.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other areas, maybe seemingly niche bits of policy or law, are quietly shaping a country's future right now?
Yeah. And what does that mean for you, whether you're thinking as a global citizen or maybe a professional in an interconnected world? Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.